He rose from the streets of Côte d'Ivoire to command some of the biggest stages in the world. His voice echoed in French, English, Arabic, Hebrew, and even African tribal languages. His mission, peace, unity, and justice, they called him the African Marley. But Alpha Blondy was no copy. He was a prophet in his own right. A voice for the people, from reggae hits like Côte rock to bold songs calling out war and corruption, he inspired millions. But fame came with fire. Controversies followed, the pressure mounted. And behind the scenes, he battled with his mental health. He disappeared from the spotlight. But like a true warrior, Alpha Blondy came back stronger, wiser, and more spiritual than ever. In this video, we uncover the full story, how Alpha Blondy became the voice of Africa's reggae revolution. The rise, the fall, and the powerful redemption of a music legend. Grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready to dive deep into a story of music, courage, and legacy. Long before the world knew the name Alpha Blondy, there was a boy named Seydou Kony born on New Year's Day, 1953, in the small Ivorian town of Dimbakro. He grew up in a home where two worlds met. His father was Muslim, his mother Christian. But in their house, love and culture spoke louder than religion. That blend of faiths planted a seed of unity that would shape his music for life. As a child, Seydou learned to speak not just one, but 4 languages: French, Dioula, English, and even Hebrew. He studied in Liberia, crossed oceans to the United States, and later ended up in France, carrying African pride in his heart and music in his soul. From Bob Marley's revolutionary spirit to the soul of African folk songs and even the edge of American rock, every note he heard helped him find his voice. In 1982, a rebel anthem hit the airwaves and shook the foundation of African music. The song, Brigadier Sabari. It was Alpha Blondy's breakout hit, and it wasn't just music. It was a protest, a bold message to corrupt police and injustice. People weren't just listening, they were feeling it. Across Ivory Coast and beyond, his voice became the soundtrack of resistance. Then came a wave of hits. Côte rock made reggae roar in West Africa. Jerusalem brought a message of unity straight from the Holy Land, and apartheid is Nazism called out global injustice with no filter. His music earned him a spot in Jamaica's sacred hall of reggae Tough Gong Studios, where he worked with none other than the Wailers, Bob Marley's legendary band. What made Alpha stand out wasn't just his rhythm, it was his message. Spirituality, unity, Pan-African pride. All delivered in 7 different languages, from the streets of Abidjan to the stages of Paris, New York, and Jamaica. Alpha Blondy had gone global, and everywhere he went, the message was the same: peace, love, freedom. Alpha Blondy didn't just make music, you felt it. Deep bass lines, roots reggae rhythms, African drums. And then came the message. He fused the classic pulse of Jamaican reggae with the heartbeat of Africa-rich percussion, spiritual lyrics, and raw truth, from Jerusalem to Côte rock. From God is One to peace in Liberia, his songs echoed with a higher purpose, fighting war, poverty, and division with a voice that demanded unity. His music wasn't about charts, it was about change. Lyrics that prayed for peace, shouted against injustice, and lifted the soul. Alpha Blondy gave reggae a spiritual heartbeat. One that didn't just echo through speakers, but through hearts, communities, and generations. Behind the powerful voice and revolutionary lyrics, there was a man fighting storms of his own. Alpha Blondy never shied away from political truth, but that courage came at a cost. His music challenged regimes, confronted war, and questioned authority. Some labeled him a hero, others a radical, but the pressure was real. In the early 2000s, Blondy was quietly admitted to a mental health institution. The burden of fame, expectations, and inner pain had taken its toll. Instead of hiding it, he opened up. Blondy became one of the first major African artists to speak openly about mental health and healing. He didn't just survive the darkness, he transformed it into light. From the moment he stepped on the global stage, Alpha Blondy wasn't just making music, he was making history. He won multiple international music awards, not just for his sound, but for his soul. Alpha's lyrics, drenched in spiritual messages and social justice, earned him stages most artists only dream of. From Reggae Sunsplash in Jamaica to the prestigious Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland, Alpha Blondy's voice echoed across borders and belief systems. In recognition of his fight for peace through music, the United Nations named him a Peace Ambassador, a title he wears louder than any Grammy. Many call him the African Bob Marley. But Alpha Blondy, he carved his own path, one rooted in truth, love, and unshakable rhythm. Alpha Blondy's influence isn't confined to stages and studios, it extends into the boardroom. Today, his estimated net worth sits between $5 and $10 million, built on decades of music, message, and smart partnerships he earns from global tour, streaming royalties, and licensing his songs for film, TV, and commercials. Every time Jerusalem underscores a scene or Côte rock drives an ad, Blondy's music bank grows. He's struck savvy partnerships with both European and African labels, guaranteeing his music reaches every corner of the globe. Even better, he owns the rights to much of his catalog, securing his legacy and his earnings for generations to come. Next, step inside his world where culture, comfort, and creativity rule. Welcome to Alpha Blondy's Abidjan estate. Tucked in one of Abidjan's most upscale neighborhoods lies more than a home. This is Alpha Blondy's haven. A space that reflects his soul, his spirituality, and his African pride. Surrounded by high-security walls and filled with lush, flowering gardens, the estate is both fortress and forest. With architecture that blends modern African styles with a touch of Mediterranean elegance, it sets the tone before you even step inside. Inside, earthy tones, natural stone, and rich wood welcome you. Every corner tells a story, like his personal recording studio, filled with vintage analog gear besides state-of-the-art digital tools. This is where songs like Peace in Liberia were born. There's also a meditation room, quiet and sacred, where the spiritual soul of Blondy comes alive. Here, the Quran, the Bible, and relics from Ethiopia rest side by side. This isn't just luxury, it's legacy. A home built not just to live in but to feel in. Now let's meet the people behind the prophet, his family, the quiet power that keeps him grounded. When the lights fade and the stage goes quiet, Alpha Blondy lives a life far removed from fame, a life grounded in spirituality, peace, and privacy. Alpha is known to have several children, and though rumors of marriage have followed him for years, he's never made a spectacle of his relationships. What we do know is that family means everything to him. Whether it's sharing stories, meals, or moments of music, his private life is deeply rooted in love and respect. While many struggle to choose, Alpha walks both paths. Born into a Muslim-Christian home, he honors both Islam and Christianity in his daily life. For him, faith isn't about walls, it's about bridges. About unity, understanding, and devotion to something higher. Despite his global fame, Alpha Blondy leads a quiet, almost monk-like existence when off stage. He surrounds himself with nature, family, books, and prayer, but his influence doesn't stop at the front door. Alpha Blondy's impact goes far beyond music. He's a true activist, using his voice to bring hope and healing where it's needed most. He founded the Alpha Blondy Foundation, dedicated to promoting education and peace across West Africa. Through this foundation, Alpha supports schools, scholarships, and community projects that empower young minds and uplift communities. Alpha Blondy's impact goes far beyond music. His influence reached international stages, partnering with the United Nations and African Union to advocate for peace, justice, and cultural harmony. Alpha Blondy organizes and performs in benefit concerts to support those affected by conflict and poverty, especially in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and his homeland, Côte d'Ivoire. He's also a vocal advocate for mental health awareness and promotes interfaith dialogue, believing that peace begins when we understand each other. Next, we step inside Alpha Blondy's sanctuary, a home that reflects his soul and spirit. Even decades into his career, Alpha Blondy keeps the reggae flame burning bright. His recent albums Positive Energy, Eternity, and Human Race show his dedication to spreading messages of hope and unity. He continues to tour across Africa and Europe, captivating audiences with his timeless sound and powerful presence. More than a legend, Alpha Blondy is a mentor guiding a new wave of African reggae stars to carry forward the spirit of the music and the message. From his roots to his remarkable journey today, Alpha Blondy's story is far from over. Alpha Blondy is more than a musician, he's an icon of African reggae and protest music. His fearless commitment to justice, peace, and unity has made him a global symbol of resistance and hope, celebrated for staying true to his roots. He masterfully fused spiritual themes with powerful political messages, inspiring generations of artists and fans alike. Through his music, Alpha Blondy has become a pioneer of African musical diplomacy, using his voice to bridge divides, foster understanding, and bring people together across continents. His legacy is a powerful reminder: music can move hearts, change minds, and inspire a better world. Alpha Blondy isn't just a reggae star, he's a living bridge between Bob Marley's vision and Africa's powerful voice. His music carries a message of resilience, purpose, and healing, touching hearts around the world. Through every challenge and triumph, he reminds us that music is more than sound, it's a force for unity and change. So, which Alpha Blondy song has touched your soul the most? Drop your favorite track in the comments below. And if you believe music can still change the world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to stay tuned for more inspiring stories of legends who stood for something greater.